Hi everyone, this is Dr. Lillian Cespedes Gonzales here in a very special video which I really hope you guys enjoy and appreciate. This is a little something that World Virtual Tours and myself have decided to put together to celebrate two very important things. The first thing is my 3 years in business as the owner of Travelusion Tours, doing tours in person, virtually, and lectures all across Britain and beyond, and my 2 years actually since I started the journey with World Virtual Tours, who are one of my most important partners for actually a lot of my work. So today, from my little historian den with cushioning involved for when things get really intense, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what it's like for me to actually to organize the sessions for World Virtual Tours, what we do in the platform, and just so you can get a little bit of like an insider knowledge as to what not just me but all of my fellow tour guides go through. Because I mean, the difference really is in the process and in the madness. We all kind of do this, so it's really for you to understand what it takes for us to put all this knowledge and information available for you guys, how we work it, the logistics, the complications, the drama that we have to deal with somehow. And hopefully it will give you a better understanding of why we care so much about what we do and the serious amount of effort that goes into it. So the first thing that I wanted to do is actually show you some of the tools that we use when we are out and about on live tours. Some of you may already know them, but some others may not. So the first thing that I would like to show you is my two gimbals. Okay, so yes, I said two gimbals because you see, I have two different types of gimbal. I have the cheap gimbal, and when I say cheap, this actually cost me about 40 euros, and it was on offer when I actually bought it. So normally it would be about 50 or something like that. It's a couple of years old now, so perhaps a bit cheaper. But this is my Hohelm gimbal. This is essentially, it's old, first of all. It's the older one of them too, and it's a lot lighter and smaller, as I'm sure you can see. This is what I take normally when either I'm going to somewhere where I don't know if it's gonna rain and things could go very wrong, or if I'm traveling, it just takes a lot less space. But this is what a gimbal essentially is. So as you see, it's kind of like a specialized selfie stick. All you need to do is press this button here. It stabilizes, and of course, when you have the phone in there, it actually stops the thing from, going crazy. So this is what we walk around when we're actually doing live tours. And well, this is, like I said, the bad one. Then I have this one, which is perhaps the better one. As you see, a much more sophisticated machine, but a lot larger, with a clip claw, so I can actually properly, take control of the situation. This is a lot more modern, has an extra stabilizer so that I can, set things up. So on top of these two machines, we normally have either external headphones or a microphone or something like that to, get going and to be able to stabilize image and sound for you guys. So as you see, it's not as simple as just pick up the phone and go. There are some steps in the process, and of course, an investment into the machinery. We need to make sure that our phones have good camera qualities, good sound qualities, and that our tools are always in good condition, which is why often we cannot do those tours when the weather outside is bad. These things help, but they are not bulletproof, windproof, rainproof, etc. So this is where partially some of our complications come from, and when we get sincerely hysterical, because your gimbal not stabilizing means that my phone will essentially do, and you will see absolutely nothing of interest. So now that you understand the tools, let me take you through the process of how I prepare for tours and talks. So this is the holy grail of tours and talks. This is actually what I keep absolutely all of my notes for all of the sessions that I prepare for you guys. And for work in general, this is where all of my research absolutely ends up. As you see, I have folders within folders. It's kind of crazy. But I guess a lot of people do this digitally nowadays. I've always been a paperback person, hence the amount of books behind me. I just find it easier to work first digitally. So whenever I'm researching a topic, if I have books at handy, I will literally just borrow from my shelf. But most of the time, I don't have all the books in the universe to be able to do the research properly and deliver. So this normally requires a complement of books, online articles, and online libraries. And I can have as many as 100 tabs open on my Google browser at any one given moment in time. crazy, but that's the truth. So, consider that the amount of hours that goes into investing into creating a tour can be many. For an average 45-minute plus questions session on World Virtual Tours, I probably can spend as many as between 2 to 6 hours preparing. And I know this sounds like a big difference, but it takes me roughly, I would say, an hour and a half to write my notes clearly. So this is the final result. This is what I then study to deliver the talk to you guys, which means before this, I have had to, pick up a lot more notes, essentially. So doing my final notes takes me roughly about an hour. And the extra hours behind already depends on how much I know from the topic previously, on how much preparation I have. There are certain topics, because of maybe my PhD or my master's or any other circumstances, I know a lot more about, so I don't have to do as much research, or I don't need to refresh my memory as much. Some others I may be starting from scratch, like for example when we did the Academy for the History of Britain. I'm sure many of you know it's not really my bag, it's not my cup of tea. We literally made that from scratch to deliver this to you guys. So I had to start from zero, or relatively zero, and really bring my knowledge up to speed. And that's just that, when we're doing a tour outside, we need to actually walk the route. We need to ensure that signal is actually favorable, weather conditions, etc., etc. So it can be very stressful. It is very time consuming, but well, it is all encompassing. There are many factors that go into building one of these sessions for you guys, that we try to work with. And there are always going to be hiccups that we can't I guess salvage, but we try the best that we can always. Well, on top of doing all of this, on top of what it entails to prepare for a session, of course, we have the technical issues. We need to have good computers, good internet, a good camera that will not fall apart in the middle of the session. You all know how it goes, Zoom, etc. So, hopefully this gives you a bit more insight as to how it all comes together, and the amount of effort that really goes for every single guide on this platform to actually put things and deliver them for you, plus the issues that we can have while doing live tours. Transport is something that also gets in our way. Today, for example, I was trying to go to do a tour in Winchester, and I never got there because the trains messed up. I spent 3 hours of my life going round in circles, not going anywhere. So, sometimes that can happen when we're preparing virtual tours, when we're doing research for our sessions, and it's a lot of time and effort that sometimes goes unnoticed or unrewarded, which I think is why hopefully this behind the scenes helps you out. Well, on top of that, in case that you don't know, obviously World Virtual Tours has been growing up a lot in the last few months, in the last years and whatnot. I have actually taken on a more active role, helping Emiliano and Luisa to actually help shape the platform, to keep a standard of quality on the guides and scholars that come into it. So I'm essentially doing some recruitment and scouting duties as well, to ensure that what you see on the screen is hopefully something that you want to see, and something that suits the needs of our very large audience. So on top of all of this, I spend a lot of time following people through social medias, through networks, trying to find appropriate scholars, qualified guides, people that will give you content that we know based on the statistics and data that we have from the platform, from your request, etc. We'll be able to deliver those things over to you on the screen, and always at the same level, because I'm sure you'll realize, although we all have different backgrounds and we do things differently, we try to portray always the same standard of quality, of professionalism and seriousness, while staying lighthearted in the platform. So it's actually it's very enjoyable, although very challenging, of course. No 2 days are the same, but it's a lovely platform. The support that you guys give us is always worth, honestly, all the hours that go into this and some more. Emiliano and Luisa work really hard to ensure that the timetable is always spotless, that things are advertised in advance. If one of us is ill, or if we have a problem, that things are shifted around. We're really well looked after. And I think that's one of the reasons why being such a big part of World Virtual Tours is so important for me, and why we hope, and I hope, that this video reaches you well. It encourages you to see the support that you've given us for the last however many years is actually, you know, keeping this journey going up and up and up and up and up, because we're only improving and we're only doing things better and better. And hopefully it keeps you engaged with the many things that we're planning for the future. Because although you may not see them, we're always planning for the future, whether it's new guides, new content, new add-ons to add to the platform, different ways to help you engage with our materials. There are many new things coming on to World Virtual Tours. And frankly, all I really hope is that in the next 3 years of my life, as a tour guide, as the owner of Travelusion, I can celebrate this again with you guys, and that I have 2 and many more as your host here in World Virtual Tour. So from me and from the rest of the family here, thank you so much for your support and have a lovely week. Bye!